It's March 22nd, 2022. My feet are in USA, for my purpose. At times, they are synonymous, not always. Depending on how the OCD orients itself and for what layer of haves and have-nots and what I'm speaking on. This morning, I've been, again, I don't know, is it citation? Is it like a ticket? This is what the children of Earth are up to and showing me. In their microaggression, if I'm speaking to President Biden as like my dad of the country that holds my liberty and safety and justice and protection for me and my children and our future and our country's future and New York State's future. I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on one man. But if that's the way that, like, from a macro perspective, and I'm sitting in a really nano position, and President Biden's got this micro situation going on, because there's other micro situations that make up the entire macro. I mean, I'm like, there's another actor, another foreign-bodied actor inside New York City. If she's employed in a private corporation, that's one set of circumstances, but she's in a public health situation inside the USA as a foreign body possible, I can't even confirm that, US something or other. I mean, she's here, so is she covered by US? I don't know. I mean, she's fed by the city, that's a problem. I'm not even fed by the city. So now I'm looking, and on comes her entrance to the stage with, like, if we're doing Broadway, because it says, I mean, this is how somebody specials, I swear to God, I'm like, all right, so if God is speaking to me through the teleportation, because, the somebody special department out in military, like, they got it like that. So, like, if they're the good guys, let's just say, and they've got some message they got to get across, and they got some unity at some point, like maybe they made one friend their entire life, and then they put it out there to tell a message for one receivership of it, to then throw it back to, like, the guy in charge in Washington, so this way we have some sense of unity, but, like, we don't really know each other. But I'm just saying, it came through in a very illuminated way. The Playbill added a new actress this morning to mental health and hygiene in New York City. She's got a special title. I'll highlight it in a moment. But before they highlighted or featured her, and I'm doing a citation of it, it comes on the theatrical event of the season. I swear, if Nathan Lane was here in his Broadway beauty and, like, was setting up, like, a pass to, like, daughter somewhere, because he knows that I'm doing something and I'm trying to do some kind of good because I'm really being hurt, and a lot of people are being hurt, but they don't know that, and some things we can't talk about, and not just Bruno, but whatever. It looks like they set me up pretty sweet this morning with the theater event. And then it segues to this theatrical mention of Macbeth. Now, and I'm like, right, Macbeth. I've heard of Daddy Mac. I've heard of Beth. Then I've got some old lady named Elizabeth, and usually the truncation of that initial is either Liz or Beth. And I'm just saying, from where I'm standing there's a white man's head, and inside of his head is only black women. I mean, that's what the TV's portraying. And then on to that comes the new public health thing or actress. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like accidental depositions everywhere I go for like Requiem and Inquisition. I mean, what do I do? I have to keep helping my own because I'm in the USA and the US at the same time at the moment. I'm being harmed. I heard another person on the news today talk about he's over in foreign country as a look-alike, and he's saying that he got hit with nerve gas over in Russia. And I'm like, they don't even mention that as a possibility here in this section, but I wouldn't put it past all the kiddos from over there that made it into this section and know things. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these words I've never even heard of.
Of the season, directed by Tony Award winner Sam Gold.
Yeah, if that's not a play on names and symbolic for a druidic.
Macbeth, 15 weeks only starting.
And there he is. There's the white guy, but he's got black women on his mind.
Starting March 29th. Tickets at telecharge.com. Hi.
And here we are. So now she calls herself Dr. Carolyn Volel, Field Physician, Office of School Health. She is an aggregate inside New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Now here's the thing. She is part of Holy War, just because people that look like her put colors on themselves elsewhere and they celebrate a holiday called Holy. So it's confusing. I don't know if she participates or not. That's a whole nother story. But it ties into biological warfare and different key-op words that I need. Again, on one level it's stereotype because I'm stereoing in this time frame what other pieces of intel have come in and said, and I have no way of researching her personal situation. I don't want to either, might I add. There's a professional league that takes care of that. I'm just pointing out the obvious, that that's a problem. Because I've already had them come into my home and get Lewis to participate with them, with putting me in a hospital, sending me to a hospital that I didn't need, then hitting me with biological products that knocked me out and I woke up naked in front of an administration that was participants that look like this. So I'm not safe in New York. I already know that. What I'm not sure of is who's participating in hurting me in that fashion while I'm doing work that I really don't want to do, and I'm getting hurt for it. But it's work that helps out other biological terrorism unit that functions in some capacity somewhere in the world to shut down really dangerous illegal operations before they have a chance to catch on or to gain momentum or funding. Doesn't feel like. Feels like we're outnumbered, honestly, but it's like after they hurt you, why don't you build them a government or a semblance of government on your way out? Yeah, that's what it freaking feels like. So this is the crazy. So now, this morning they did a piece on Huntington's disease. I know, again, I live on the big lie, which is the big fish, which has a number. Huntington has a number. Huntington, California has a number. Huntington, New York has a number. Just saying, has a number. So whatever that means in quiet area, where we don't tell this how we communicate, we just speak a little odd or use a couple of odd whatevers in some semblance of one reality. This is a problem because I don't need it writing health papers or communicating with the health ministry, trying to make me look psychotic or as if I have a degenerative stroke disease or I have some dysphoria or dysfunction, because it's time dysphoria, but I'm part of the pack of guardian angels where time does stand still, sweetheart, and you're not there when it does, because we don't want you there. And there's some serious, bigger issues on the horizon. So whoever attends that meeting, whoever doesn't, is totally irrelevant for this purpose. However, what I do have is my local, real life problems with this, getting voices and writing papers trying to make me either look like a drug addict or that I participated in certain crime that I never did. And it's a real problem. It is a real problem at real levels of places that I really need compliance, help and surety from and loyalty from. There's a way I have to work through certain features of this disgusting theatrical Macbeth I was thrown into, even though a white guy was leading it, being Anthony 1975, which I've had several visitors, including one from Guatemala, said, if you look like this and if we were there right now, I know how to get you out. But based on the fact that I'm on the fish in Long Island as a white chick, nobody knows how to get me out of here into the man that I need to be with? I mean, how does that work? For real?
I'm Dr. Cattaruzza.
So this is the new theater.
And I'm one of the many doctors caring for the children in our city's public schools. As a doctor,
I didn't hire her. She's not allowed to touch my children's blood. She has no permission from me to access a data bank, access a blood type, access a medical history, nothing. She has no permission to write on my behalf, anything. I don't want anything about my personal medical history to be known by this type of human, ever. That's it. But yet, it's been breached. So now I don't know at real security and national security, how do we fix that inside the USA, inside the US, with the White House looking the way it is and the family obligation responsibility being what it is, to keep a strong presence and still maintain integrity within the existential system of diplomacy and partnership and alliance and that sort of thing. When some people, they will only honor alliance when they have lists of demands that are met first, which is not how we should be doing business. But somewhere along the lines, it seems that integrity has been compromised, we'll call it. And the basis for that is, I have this in New York, commingling, actively participating in open media in commingling in a microaggression and macroaggression because they know that I'm here during this time period. It's March 22nd, 2022.
Parents often ask me questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. One common...
It looks like a lamb. It doesn't look like a lion. But it is so dangerous on large scale things and no, I'm dead serious.
Common question I
especially
get
when
is,
it gets to
will my
many
child
numbers
have
of
any side effects to the
socioeconomics.
vaccine? Children who receive the COVID-19 vaccine may experience some side effects.
This is what a domestic terrorist looks like, trying to sell you on bioengineered products as if it was anything but what it really is, which is into designer diseases to make money, to make sure their children are fed and they have a place to live while they're inside the USA. That's a problem. My children are affected. I've been affected. My parents have been affected. And yet this is still going on.
Including redness and soreness on the arm, tiredness, aches, chills, or fever. Side effects usually last for 1 to 2 days. Serious side effects are very rare. I tell parents we all do our best to keep our children safe.
What is with this hand motion down here? She doesn't have my permission to be on TV. She's just wasting my time. Stepping up onto a soapbox I already know exists and I'm trying to tear down. For the health and safety of the rest of us, including people that look like her. I just don't want people like her having a power of position to enforce bioengineered warfare amongst their innocent. It's part of the responsibility of being part of the family in existentialism that used to have a clear communication and protocol of quiet. But at my particular position, I've been held away from direct contact with who I need at the time for which I need it. Perhaps I've been in area with someone who might be White House level important throughout my life. Perhaps. I don't have to answer to anybody. But where I need it now, in order to inform them just how dangerous this is, I don't have access. I don't have direct access. It's not in a feedback loop system like Lou and Lynn. I walk in the room, I'm like, Lynn, my arm's hurting. Here's what I'm thinking it is. And then I walk out and I leave her alone. I don't have access like that to anyone that I would need access to.
And as a doctor, I strongly recommend the vaccine to protect even more children and their loved ones against COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine protects children from getting very sick and being hospitalized. Get your child vaccinated today. Thank you.
That's not my couch potato story. That's someone else trying to feed someone else's system and feed someone else's kid and pay someone else's bills. It's part of the problem. It's not part of the solution. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. If the woman, whatever her name was, is in her own nation state outside of the borders of USA, and this campaign was going on, for whatever reason that it does, and it was a safety, secured, agreed upon, whatever, with Big Pharma, that's one thing. But we're inside New York State, we're inside New York City, and we are inside the borders of the USA. So for one man at MEU space CO and myself being inside the borders of the USA, being the us, US, covered loosely for a different purpose. The only purpose that changes is the nation state that currently is acting out of function, for which we need it to work in a specific function, but now it's messaging and functioning outside of the boundaries for which it would be safe or it's not safe. And at the moment, it's not safe. Because it's coming through like a macro aggressive guerrilla warfare. If it was in outside bordered in a territory of US that's outside of USA, and it was whatever and whatever, however that works, different story. But it's not. I'm inside USA and that's what's going on. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.